Hello guys, today we're going to be replacing the thermal compound in the ouya. Now you guys might be thinking that this is an easy feat, all you have to do is unscrew the heatsink, right? Well, sadly not. And I say sadly not, because you have to desolder the heatsink because of the ouya's design. Let's see if we have even a big enough screwdriver. We're going to have to use a flathead. That's just a must. But due to the ouya's design, you can't normally replace the thermal compound. And you might be saying, well, it's running an Android processor. Most of the time, those are just air-cooled. Well, the ouya's Android processor is overclocked by default. Let's put it that way, in layman terms. So, I've noticed my ouya slowing down now, and it's an older ouya. I know that this is kind of a niche thing, and it's not going to be a very popular video, but it does need to be addressed, because I have not seen anyone actually talk about this. As the ouya is going to get older and older, and people get bored of it and sell it, and new hobbyists buy it, it's going to have issues now. It's hitting that point, and to help preserve the life as much as humanly possible, we should be taking steps. Because the ouya was a crappy console. It was a fail. It was a fail, let's be honest. You can't sugarcoat that. It was a failure of a console. It was literally just an Android square in a box. A box that apparently doesn't want to give up its square. It's fine, we'll get it. It's just being resistant. Let's see. Don't want to damage the antenna too much. There we go. Okay. And what I mean by the heatsink is soldered is, not sure. Yep, there we go. Right here. Right here. Right here. And there should be one more, shouldn't there? I don't actually see a fourth one. 1, 2, 3. Let's double check that to make sure. So, I don't see a stud right here. Doesn't mean there's not one. I just don't see it. So there's definitely one right here. There's definitely one right there. There's one right here. And that's it. Okay, so there's 3 studs that have to be removed to access the ouya. And like I was saying earlier, I've noticed performance slowdowns in the ouya as it's gotten older. I've owned this ouya for about a year now, and it's not a significant amount of time to actually prove that there's massive performance breakdowns at all. But there is enough for me to say that the ouya isn't working how it used to. Just to be expected. It's older console now. So I would recommend a flat tip for this because you're desoldering a heatsink and applying some lead solder. Lead-based solder. Because it's going to be kind of tricky to desolder this because of what it is. So you're going to want to wait for your soldering iron to get heated up to the point where it's smoking. Make sure you clean the tip. And then you're going to want to melt the add some solder if possible. And this is my first time doing this, so it's definitely an interesting process, and we'll see if the ouya even works after this. And like I said, the ouya is going to probably absorb most of your heat for your soldering iron. If you can desolder it, we'll find out. It doesn't look too promising at this current moment, but we can always upgrade our tip. So we'll put the highest end tip I have on here, the hottest one, which is a flat tip. Yeah, there we go. This thing. This is a very, very, very big tip. This I usually save for desoldering really large components. And also, fun fact, the ouya is not heavy. It's just a lead weight in the bottom. It's the only thing that makes it heavy. it's literally, like I said, just an Android processor in a case, which is fine. It served its purpose for the time. Yeah, there you go. So I'm going to recommend this tip now, because it's definitely going to be a very challenging task to desolder without it. Not saying it can't be done without this style tip. Probably could, but this is the tip I like. There we go. Let's see. Is that wiggle wobbling yet? Weeble wobbling? Not yet. Doesn't mean it's not, though. Just doesn't seem like it. We'll try. We'll make sure that these pins wiggle. Also, make sure we're still in focus. Yep, there we go. Sorry about that. I was out of focus that whole time. There we go. That one is good. This one right here is it. Now, you never want to put too much pressure on heat sinks and stuff. It's a good way to just kill your stuff. This was definitely a crappy thing that Ouya did. It was probably for life expectancy of the console, that they would be making a new one every couple years to keep up with Android's upgrades. So in return, they didn't plan on ever making these serviceable. Ooh, broke a stud. See, that's like I said. So what you see here is a thermal pad. So I don't break another stud, what I'll do is just apply some heat at the heat sink and push on it a little so it lifts up. And then same right here. There you go. Because I don't want to break another stud. That would be bad. And it would probably, the Ouya would probably not have a heat sink afterwards. If you do break a stud, you could, I'm sure there's a few different methods you can try to save it. Probably the easiest would be zip tying. Yeah, we might lose this stud, sadly. As much as I really am trying not to. The stud right here. So this is the closest to the antenna. This stud's just really stubborn. There we go. Okay, so we saved 2 Ouya studs. Now, as you can see right here, this is a thermal pad. They're not very good at conducting heat. They're good for niche applications. And here's your NVIDIA processor. Let's see. Can I focus? Yep, there we go. That's your NVIDIA processor right there. So what we're going to do is peel off this crappy thermal pad that's falling apart. Shows you how well it's aged. I'm gonna, well, heat sinks are usually smooth, but kind of want to scratch it a little bit. Just so the thermal compound has something to grip on, not deep scratches, just light ones. I'm going to grab my thermal compound. This is some cheap Insignia thermal compound. I'm going to just smear a blob on there. I got a little bit on the actual motherboard or logic board for this particular application. So I'll just get a clean rag and clean it off. There we go. Wash your fingers afterwards. Should be common sense. And then line up your heatsink as best as you can. There we go. And now I have a bent pin on this heatsink now because of an oops. So what I'll do is I'll grab my pliers and I will just straighten that back out. Hope that doesn't snap. So there we go. Let's see. Can I push it in? I should be able to push in, at least. Ooh, got some on a chip now, too. See, thermal compound you kind of have to be careful with. It's not conductive to a degree, I don't believe. You could always do a test on that in another episode. Yeah. It looks straight. So, push. That's in. That one's in. There we go. And now that we have those two pushed in pretty tight, what I'm going to do is flip it. Get my big tip soldering iron again, because we're going to want a lot of heat to make sure the pads go on right. Find each pad, go like that. There we go. And there we go. And the third pad we broke. Well, not the pad itself, but the third part of the heatsink, that part. Which should be fine. Not the end of the world. You're just going to get your rag and you're going to want to just lightly dust off everything to make sure. So if we're smart, we could probably just solder it to these other pads. That's what I'm going to try and hope for the best. Uh-oh, there we go. Don't do that mistake that I just did. That's not gonna solder well. Okay, so we can't just solder it. What other options do I have? I have these long stringy wires. Try one of these. Doubt that will make much of a difference. Wire cutters. Do we have a set down here? Not really. Could use a knife. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now let's see. Any better? Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay. And you can twist it, your wire, to make a wire tie. What I'm going to do is do that, pull on it, and then twist. And hope that the wire doesn't snap somewhere along the way. Because this is just putting a little bit more pressure on it. So, it's our goal. It's not going to really work though, because this is not solid core. I don't think I have anything solid core that I could use except magnet wire, but that takes a risk of conducting all across a circuit board. So let's see, what's our other options? Let's evaluate our options here. There's not too many options we have, sadly. This is a very tricky problem. Ooh. Ooh, idea. This is some Ethernet wire. I wonder. Untwine some. It's not very easy to untwine. Probably don't even need to untwine it, but I just want to use one strand. I don't want to use both. You know what? Screw it, we'll use both parts of the wire. And then just cut it. Okay. So. See, that's why I didn't want to use both, because if it gets stuck on one, then we're going to have issues on the other. There we go. I got it to untwine. Okay. Now I start the fun process of trying to get it to go through. There we go. We got that to go through. We're going to want to pull it and then find a tight spot and then just start twisting it. This is the best solution I could come up with. If you guys have better solutions, feel free to comment. I'm always down to listen. Okay. I wish I had a pair of wire cutters down here, but I brought those all upstairs, sadly. I haven't been working in my lab very often. Oh, my work area. There we go. And for the safety of our electronics, We'll grab some electrical tape. Snap it. Hopefully it sticks. It's really cold down here. It's winter time in PA. Okay. There we go. And nice and tight now. So that was our solution. Flip it. Line everything up. Okay. So now the ouya is lined up back in its case. We have new thermal compound on there. We'll put the top on. The top has weird grooves and slots in it, so you can't really screw up putting it on. It's designed to be put on in a very, very particular fashion. Is it this way? Indeed. Okay. Then we're going to get our screws, screw it back together, we'll go upstairs, plug it in, and see if it still turns on. We'll be amazed if it didn't. And depressed. This was a $50 console that I bought a year ago. Off eBay. Because I was researching it, and I'm like, ooh, that seems like a cool idea, and then I didn't research enough and didn't realize that the company went bankrupt because their owner wasn't the greatest. But that's okay. It was a cool Kickstarter. Okay, we'll clean up. Remember, the most important part of owning a workbench is at least doing some basic cleaning. Obviously, my workbench is a horrible example of this because I'm not down here enough to keep up with it, and other people use it when I'm not here. So, bad example. But you should always clean up your workbench. Or do at least try. At least try cleaning it. So, we have all of our screw bits. We'll go upstairs, we'll plug it in and test it. I'll be right back. We're going to power out the ouya. First we'll turn on the TV. Make sure it's on the right input. Input 5. Okay. And ouya lights on. Let's see. I have a custom firmware on this, so it might take a little bit longer to boot than normal ouyas, because the ouya OS is pretty much dead. So we'll do normal boot. Let's see. There we go. We'll wait for Android to fully boot up just to prove that it still works. Hopefully. Can only be hopeful. And there we go. The ouya still works after replacing the thermal compound and desoldering the heatsink. So, and resoldering it. So it's true that you can replace the thermal compound. I would recommend being skilled with the soldering iron. And I would recommend taking your time, being patient, and just getting to know your device a little. Because if you want the ouya to last any longer in life, this is pretty much what you're going to have to do. Because for mine, the fan was roaring, it would crash randomly. It was struggling. So this was the best solution for me. You may be different. You may just put a liquid cooler. You might get one of those little Raspberry or liquid coolers and try hooking it up to it. It's your choice. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye-bye.